person going to gym, if he is not going to lift weights, means trying hard against particular stress, how is he going to develop biceps and this six packs? God created you. Now we have to find the purpose. What is the purpose of my existence? What is the purpose of this life? Meaning of life we can find by solving this purpose. Does my purpose differ from your purpose of existence? I don't think so. You have excelled in one field. I'm a son of a farmer who ultimately became a pharmacist and started a business. Now we can explore all these things in various fields. Nothing wrong with it. It's great. But perfection is not there. Though we try to achieve the best we can in our own profession, but there is something greater than that, because however great an actor you can be, or however great a pharmacist I can be, or however philanthropist one can be, like Mr. Ratan Tata, yet there is perfection needed at an inner level. Is my inner self ready in accepting my perfection outside? No. I'm still hungry from inside. Hungry for what? That inner fulfillment. You see, if we decide to divide our system, then system in the sense, the entire being of me. I have this outer being, physical body. Then as I go within, then I have mind, I have intellect, I have ego, I have consciousness. What is it that supports these four? It is my soul. This is very well understood. Right? Now, in order to nourish this body, I take balanced diet, I do exercise, I can keep it fit. In order to nourish this, my head and heart, I educate myself, I interact with people, right? What about nourishing the soul? That's where the problem lies. We know how to nourish the body, we know how to nourish the heart and mind, but we do not have the resources how to enrich the soul. And that's why this pranahuti, yogic transmission, which is being graced upon us through Masters of Caliber, and through that we experience and we enrich our own spirit, our own soul, in its own trail, just as the healthy mind and healthy mind, they coexist. But we do not equate it and we don't complement the soul part of it. You see, if you did, then the whole system will become wholesome, complete. So now, pranahuti, theoretically speaking, is the divine energy that a yogi is able to tap into the source and transmit it to the recipients who are desiring to have it. And once you close your eyes, you start experiencing that. And at the end of that meditation, you will see, wow, there is a big difference between, when I started meditation, the state of my mind was something, and now after the meditation, it is different. So we can see the impact of it. It's like sunlight. Do we see sunlight? We don't see sunlight. But when it falls on objects, we see the presence. So like that, our consciousness gets highlighted in the presence of this pranahuti actually. It's a nourishment in another way. It's also a transformative energy. It gives supports to our consciousness. Often my patients used to come back after they would feel healthier. They would come back and convey a word of thanks and say, you are the most compassionate person we have ever met. This has been a regular comments day after day. And I say, why would you say such a thing? Anybody else can also give you the similar health care. He said, no. The way you take prescription, the way you greet us, the way you hand over and make us understand how to take medicine. And when I am unable to come to fill my prescription, you send somebody to pick up the prescription and also drop it back at no cost. How many human beings would do such a thing? So this is a compassionate heart I think moves. It is impelled or it cannot but act only. If compassionate heart puts a break and say, let me think about it, then you have missed a moment of serving someone who really, really deserves. Any act of compassion as we postpone can be very tragic in our lives. For example, if you are a doctor and you are on you are driving, all of a sudden you see an old man or an old woman who has fallen by the road and bleeding. But you are driving away, rushing, going back to hospital. Of course, you are treating a patient in the hospital also. Next day you hear that on such and such a road, at such and such a time, at such and such a place, someone died. You as a doctor, when you hear this news in TV or read it in newspaper, you recall that I was passing by that place at that time when this person had an accident. A true human being would cry his heart out and say, why couldn't I stop myself and attend to that patient as well? So, such acts burdens our heart for a very long time. Perhaps we can never forget such moments. Imagine if that was your mother and you could not look after her. Imagine the amount of burden that you would carry. I give you another example, something that we were supposed to do as children, study well, and because of one mark, you lost admission in the college of your choice. Then you would regret so much, I wish I had done better preparation. Some older people past 60s whose parents are no more, but when they reflect on their life and say, oh, I could have done this for my father, I could have done this for my mother, I could have said sorry for troubling you, and now they are not there. See, postponing and allowing your compassion to flow through and become an act of kindness. If you had to say sorry, apologize. That is also an act of kindness. Postponing an event that can hurt someone, postponing your words that could hurt someone, these are all acts of kindness. So compassion, I think, can go long way. If only we listen to our heart and make it actionable, act. No point harboring in your heart and say, oh, I love this person. Postponing to say, I love you also is an act of unkindness. Many people do regret, oh, I had an opportunity, I could have said something, but because of my shyness, because of whatsoever be the reason, you are not able to express yourself. Express, don't hold it in your heart. At least you have let it out. And I am sure most of you are in the same boat as many people who regret later on. So don't let that regret settle in. That is also a compassion towards yourself. To remain joyful is very natural. It's God-given. If we remain inactive, effortless, when we are pushed in a corner, when we are challenged, when we face problems, if you don't act on it, they will only increase. We have to work on our problems. We cannot say, God, please handle it, I will now become effortless. It will not serve any purpose. Unless some troubles are there, some stress is there, our tendency is not to do anything. Isn't it? Ask these students. If you didn't have stress, would you study? So some stress is required. See, I was asked this question by one of the professors in Hyderabad. She asked a question that, can meditation help reducing stress amongst the students during the exam time? I say, it surely can help, but why do you want to do that, such a favor to them? If you remove the stress through meditation, they are not going to study and they'll surely fail then, see. You as a professor should teach them in such a way that they don't have to strive too hard in studying. The professor's way of education also reduces efforts from students. So it should become joyful. So once the problem comes, they are no longer joyful because we got to solve them. And all the problems in life that we see, some of you are very young, some of you are already at the sunset of life perhaps, ready to say goodbye. They can give you a lot of wise stories, full of wisdom. And none of them will say, I enjoyed it so much and I learned something. None of them will say that. They will only say, itni musibat aayi, is zamane mein itni musibat yahan aayi, itni musibat idhar aayi. And now, through those troubles, I became something. You ask any great person also. It is not that we invite troubles. If they come, try to solve the riddle. That will make us stronger. Person going to gym, if he is not going to lift weights, means trying hard against particular stress, how is he going to develop biceps and this six packs? Some stress, some effort is required, see. While going to gym, you choose to create stress against your muscles. Nature gives some amount of stress that we don't want at emotional level, at mental level, throwing challenges. As such, there are no challenges. They become challenges when we are unable to solve them. If you are able to solve the problem 2 plus 2, is it a challenge for you? No, because you already know it. But you ask a 4-year-old child, if I give you 5 chocolates and add 2 more chocolates, how many will it become? A lot of efforts, 5 and 2, and that. It becomes challenge when we are unable to solve the problem. So learn to solve the problem, and afterward, once you have solved it, you'll smile at it and say, oh, I did it. Not at all. If you have the capacity to make crores of rupees, if you have the ability to make 10 crores, make 100 crores. If you have the ability to make 10 crores, 100 crores, make 1,000 crores. There is nothing wrong in making money. But realistic world is not all that bad. If good-hearted people stay away from making money, then you are leaving this financial field in the hands of bad elements. What will or what can become of the society if all bad elements continue making loads and loads of money? So, good-hearted people should also think of making lots and lots of money. 2 things to be remembered. Make it with honest means and spend them wisely. Material life and spiritual life. We need to build a bridge. We need to integrate both. Then there is beauty. If we go too much into spiritual world, then our material duties towards the family and community suffers. If you go into material world so much, then you are spoiling your spiritual future, the existence itself. I'm not talking of spoiling life. I'm talking of spoiling your spiritual existence. It's a big difference between life and existence. Please think over it.
What if the real problem isn't what happened, but what you keep carrying after it? This video explains forgiveness as self-protection and how evening cleaning clears emotional memory. Continue watching.